Well, the time is 7:57 in the evening. I left an hour earlier than normal. I am fucking exhausted. I woke up at like 4 or 5 in the morning and couldn't get back to sleep. I went to the gym and I am so tired. And I have a $1,000 date tonight. I'm going to a Cardi B concert with, I mentioned in my last vlog, the guy that was high profile that, whatever. So he texted me and asked what I was up to, and I told him I was at work, and he was like, what time do you get off? And I said at 9, and he was like, do you still want to come to that concert? And I said, yeah. So, and then I followed that up very quickly with, are you still up for compensating me for my time? Because I told him straight up at work. Did I tell him at work? I think I told him at work, I needed to be compensated for my, yeah, he brought it up. He was like, I want to take you out of here and I'll pay you a lot if you want to come with me. And I was like, yeah, I was like, that's cool. I was like, but, as long as I get compensated, because I got to work. And he was like, yeah, he was like, that's okay. He was like, that's cool. So when I messaged him back, I was like, I just want to, make sure you're still up for compensating me. And he was like, yeah. And he did not put a price on it and was like, I'll see you at 9:15. And I followed it up immediately with, I'm thinking $1,000 and I can hang out for like 4 hours, which is a long ass time to hang out. But to be honest, I have a feeling it's going to be, okay, so my idea of fun is not going to a concert and it's not going to hang out with a stranger. Like, that's not my idea of fun at all. But I can make myself have fun. Like, I just can. I've done this for long enough that I can force myself to have a good time. So that's what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna force myself to have a good time with this person. I'm gonna get paid up front, and I always get paid up front. And if he doesn't want to pay me up front, I'm leaving. And I'm tired enough that if he doesn't pay me up front, then it'll be fine. But I think he's gonna pay me and everything's gonna go good. Oh my God, I've never been to a concert before. I've literally never been to a concert before. So my first one is gonna be like fucking Cardi B. I tried to get, and maybe it'll still happen, I'm not sure, but one of the girls that I work with, beautiful girl, beautiful black girl, gorgeous. Oh, I fucking love this chick. And I asked him, I was like, do you by any chance want me to bring any other girls? And he was like, you can send me pictures, but quite frankly, I don't think anyone's gonna make the cut, which really makes me think he's a producer or something like that. So I just sent him pictures of her. She's so pretty, and I'm really, 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 really hoping he says yes, because I would have a lot more fun if she went. I already know I'd have a lot more fun if she comes with us. So she has some banging Instagram photos. So that's what I'm hoping for. I really hope that works out, because that would be cool. I don't think it's gonna work out. I don't think, plus she has somebody else that offered to pay her to go hang out tonight. So I don't think she's gonna come hang out. I told her, honestly, I think you'd have more fun going to do what you're going to do than coming out with us. But I don't know that. And I hope that she comes with us. If it works out that way, I think that'd be great. Okay, so what happened that was interesting tonight? Okay, I had my first glass of Dom tonight. Dom Perignon or whatever that's called. And that shit apparently is, from what I recall, I think it's really, 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 really stupid expensive, I think. It tastes exactly like regular fucking champagne, okay? It does not, I was expecting it to taste like gold or something, and it tastes like fucking champagne. It tastes like the $12 bottle of champagne that I bought the other day. Okay, I'll just put it that way. So, I was not impressed. Branding and marketing, my God, it can go a very long way. So what happened was the floor guy came up to me. I was on stage, and there were these four or five girls that were at stage that were just, as soon as they got up there, they just threw a bunch of money on stage. But they were not paying attention to me at all. They were just talking in their own little world. I could tell they were really drunk. And there was one other guy at the stage, so I go up to this other guy, and the floor guy comes up to me and is like, hey, you see those girls right there? He was like, they just got a, they call it a celebrity room, which has, it's just a champagne room, and it, you know, you have to pay for like a bottle to go back there, and then each girl is $400, and it has a curtain, and there's, you know, it's not that fucking special. It's, you know, whatever. I want to go back there because I want to make $400 in an hour, which is not that fucking much. You would think, I would think for Las Vegas, you know, I would think it would be more. I mean, especially for the nicest club in Las Vegas, I would think it would be more. But it's not. So the floor guy comes up to me and he's like, they're looking for a blonde to come back there. So if you pay some attention to them, they might ask you to come back. Well, they weren't paying attention to me at all, but their husbands were. Their husbands were back behind this little curtain, but the curtain was open and they could fucking see me and I could see them. So I was making some eye contact with them, like, invite me to come back there with you. Like, I'm not gonna go over, I don't think I would have. Maybe. If there was nobody else back there, I might have gone up to him and said something, but I had no intention of it. But I was making eye contact with them, and right as I was getting off the stage, another floor guy came up to me and he was like, hey, come see me when you get done. And then he walks over to that room. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. I was like, okay. So I come down and head back over there, and he's like, these guys want you to come in and hang out with them. And I was like, all right, cool. So I go in and start talking to him. Definitely entrepreneurs, definitely fucking ballers. These guys made a lot of money. I don't know what they did. I think they made a lot of money just from talking to them. You know, you can get that vibe. Somebody just makes a lot of money. I'm pretty sure they made a lot of money. And this guy's wife, okay, so it was his birthday, and she kept coming back in there and being like, I need more money. I need more money. And she would just pull stacks of hundreds of dollars. And eventually he was like, hey, he literally flat out, he was like, I control the money. He was like, you need to calm down. He was like, you've already thrown like $500 on stage and we've been here for like an hour. I was like, okay, that's fucking awesome. So I didn't go, those girls weren't paying attention to me at all. But so when I was back there with them, I didn't know how it worked. I thought, because I hadn't been in that room yet, I thought that just going back there, I was gonna make money. I thought it was guaranteed cash because I knew that they had to pay up front to be back there. But apparently the night was a little bit, or that situation was a little bit weird, because they went back there, and what's supposed to happen is they're supposed to pick a few girls or however many girls, and then the curtain's supposed to close, and then that's when the girls get locked in for their money, and then they're back there for like an hour or whatever. Well, the curtain was open the whole time, and girls were just floating in and out. So I didn't know that I was supposed to charge them, because I thought I was just supposed to be paid after they left or at some point or whatever. So I'm dancing for this guy, and another girl comes in, and we're both dancing for him, and another girl comes in, and it was getting a little bit crowded back there, and I had been dancing for him for probably 15-20 minutes already, and then this other chick comes in, and then we both danced for him for probably another 15 to 20 minutes, and then he wanted her to dance for him, and he wanted me to dance with his friend, and then his friend left because everyone was fucked up. His friend walked out. He didn't even hear him say it. He was like, okay, let's switch, and his friend was like, I'll be right back, and he went to the stage, and I said, he was like, okay, so another girl came in, and she was like, somebody told me to come in here, but it looks a little bit full. And I was like, she was like, what's going on? She said it to me, like, you know, kind of quietly. She was like, what's going on? She's like, I don't, you know, somebody told me to come back here. And I was like, I don't fucking know, girl. I was like, you know, everybody's fucked up. And it's like the middle of the day. And so she was like, well, where's your friend that invited me back here? And he was like, you guys go look for her and then come back later. And I was like, okay, he doesn't want me in here. So I was like, all right, well, I'm not gonna sit here and try to stay. So I got up and left, and I looked at him before I left, and I was like, do you want me to come back? And he said, yeah, I want you to come back. And I was like, are you sure? And he was like, yes, I'm positive. He was like, come back. So I was like, okay. So I left, and as soon as I left, I was like, I don't think I'm going back, because I figured so many different girls were going in and out of there, and I'm not trying to go butt my way in, and I'm just not. And so I go up to the floor guy, and I'm like, hey, what's the deal? Like, why, like, how does this work? Because I was back there for probably 30, 45 minutes. How do we get paid from that? And he goes, oh, well, they're back in there doing $20 dances now. And I was like, 20, like, it's a champagne room. What do you mean they're doing $20 dances? And he goes, well, it's a little bit off, because it's supposed to be, they're supposed to pick certain girls and then go back there and the curtain closes. He goes, but they bought a bottle, which is what allows them to be back there. And then, and they haven't picked their girls yet. So, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, he goes, well, how much did you make? And I was like, I didn't make fucking shit, because I didn't say it like that. I was like, I didn't make anything. I didn't know I was supposed to charge him. I was like, I thought I was supposed to get paid from the club, because he paid to be back there. And he was like, no, he was like, I'm sorry, you know, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. I was like, well, whatever, you know, it's not a big deal. I didn't know. So the next girl, but then dude walks out of the VIP room and starts heading to the bathroom. And I was like, okay, well, this will give me the chance to at least walk up to him and be like, hey, do you want me to come back in there or not? And as I'm walking towards where the bathroom is, he's already like way down there, and I was just gonna wait for him to come out. As I'm walking past, this other girl was like, hey, she goes, how much did you charge them? And I go, girl, I didn't charge them anything. I was like, I didn't know I was supposed to. Fuck, that was my turn. I was like, I didn't know I was supposed to. I thought we were supposed to get paid just for being back there. Like, I thought that's how every VIP in the world works. And she was like, oh yeah, she was like, that is normally how it works. She was like, but you know, the curtain didn't close, whatever the fuck that means. So so she goes, well, don't not get paid. She goes, you need to go up to him and tell him you didn't get paid. And I was like, how much did you charge him? And she goes, 200. She goes, you should at least get 200 for half an hour. She was like, and you were back there before me. And I was like, I was back there before you. And she goes, well, go fucking tell him. She was like, they've got money. She was like, don't walk away from that without getting paid. And I was like, okay. I was like, you know, I knew they had money. So I was like, all right, I agree with what she's saying. So, so he comes out, and I start walking up to him, and I'm like, hey, Mike, I'm like, do you still want me, you know, do you want me to come back in there? And he goes, the entire room is full of girls right now. He was like, I would like you to come back in there. He's like, how much do I owe you? And I was like, okay, fucking perfect. And I said, well, I was back there for 30 to 45 minutes, so like $200 to $300. And he was like, how about $2? And I feel like he already felt like he was getting ripped off, and his wife was spending a shitload of money. And he was like, how about $2? And I was like, okay. I was like, listen, I was like, I thought I was supposed to get paid just from going back there. I was like, I'm not trying to, you know, I'm certainly not trying to piss you off. And he was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. He was like, yeah, he was like, no problem. He was like, you're really cute. And I was like, oh, thank you. Like, you know, I appreciate that. You could give me 300. I didn't say that, but he ended up giving me 2, which I was totally fine with, because to be honest, I don't really know that I was back there for 45 minutes. I don't know how long I was back there for. I was not keeping track because I didn't think I needed to be. So that was my first experience in the celebrity room, which, you know, whatever. It was a little bit weird because of the situation with his wife being back there and everything. It was just a little bit weird, but they were having like a discussion about what he was allowed to do and what he wasn't allowed to do. He was allowed to suck on titties. Okay, he was allowed to, I couldn't believe the conversation I was fucking listening to. I was like, this is really happening. He was not allowed to kiss on the lips, but he was allowed to fucking suck on titties. She was allowed to grind, but he was not allowed to pull out his fetus. This really fucking happened. He was allowed to fucking finger one of the dancers, right? This is what she fucking told him. And one of the other girls, the girl that told me to make sure I got paid, was back there with me at this time. And she was like, if it's okay with the dancer. And the wife was like, oh, yeah, of course. She was like, I'm just laying down rules for him. She was like, you girls obviously can have your own rules, but I'm just laying down rules for what he can do. but a girl wasn't allowed to touch him, but he was allowed to finger somebody else. I don't know. It was ridiculous. Anyway, I left early because I need to take a nap. If I'm going to go hang out with these people, I need a fucking nap, and I have a feeling I'm going to be up for a really long time, and I need to get something to eat and whatever. This is one of those moments that, like, I will not be disappointed if he dips out on me and doesn't call me, but I would really like the $1,000. I would really, really, really like the $1,000. I just know for sure that I'm going to be up all night if I go hang out with this dude. I'm going to be up all night. So that's okay. It's like the last time I did this, it was a $500 date, and there was nothing in the world that I wanted less than to go on the date. And I was really happy that I got up and went because I made fucking $500, you know? But I really, really, really did not want to go on that date. And then at the end, he thought I was gonna sleep with him. I was like, it was like 4 or 5 in the morning, and I was like, I really gotta get going. And he was like, oh, okay. He was like, well, don't we have some things we need to do before you go? And I was like what? And he said, oh, well, you know, like, have some fun. And I was like, what did you have in mind? And I genuinely did not know what he meant. And he was like, have sex? And I was like, oh, no. I was like, no. I was like, I told you I would get you a date. I said, I did not say anything about hooking up. I said, as a matter of fact, I was very, very clear it was a date. And he was like, yeah, but in, you know, like in prostitute terms, date means whatever. I was like, I'm not a prostitute. And he was like, yeah, I didn't think that you were. And I was like, I didn't think that I gave off that vibe. I didn't think that I did. Everyone here knows or should know that I have zero problems with prostitutes. I know I feel like I've said this a million times. I just really want to reiterate that. Like, I have nothing, no, you know, and I feel like everybody should be able to do whatever the fuck they want. If you want to have sex with anybody for money, you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want. But I'm not doing it because it would ruin my sex life, and I'm not fucking doing that. So anyway, I'm tired. I need to go to bed. This was my day. I'm sure I missed out on a lot of things. My glands are swollen. I need a shower. I'm not gonna do any of that though. I'm just gonna take a nap, and then hope that this guy calls me and I end up going to this fucking Cardi B concert for $1,000. So have a great night. I will talk to you later. Ciao.